let's see, Mega Man 3. So is Mega Man 3 DOS on here? Oh, there is one. Mega Man 3, the robots are revolting. Okay. So there we go. So there is a separate category for this one. There isn't for the first one. I think the robots are revolting subtitle is kind of weird for this game because it seems like it only appears on the back of the box. It wasn't on the front of the box, at least from what I could find. So I run my patch program, and now I have this new Mega Man 3 executable. And I want the joystick on because I'm playing with joystick. So here we go. High Tech Expressions presents Rosner Labs production. Mega Man 3. In EGA glory. Oh, this is 1992. Okay, sorry, I was off by 1 year. Where do I want to start? I think Liz always starts with Sharkman. Sharkman is not a bad level to start with, I feel like. Did High Tech Expressions make a Barbie game? Seems likely that they would have. They published a bunch of games. Sure, why not? Let's start with Sharkman. It's easier than making a decision. So Mega Man 3, I feel like the levels are better designed than in Mega Man DOS, but they are much longer. Or actually, the individual levels probably aren't much longer, but like the game is much longer because there's 7 levels instead of 4. However, the water physics really takes some getting used to. I would definitely call it unintuitive, but at this point I'm kind of used to it and I don't mind it so much. But it's sort of like the one part of this engine, or maybe the 2 parts of this engine, that I don't think are as solid. Like, I think the platforming part of this engine is actually pretty good for its time and place. The water, not the way that feels is not so good. I wouldn't consider this good reference for how to make a water level in game, but once you get used to it, it's usable. It's playable. I don't mind it. The other thing in Mega Man 3 is like everything seems to take even more hits than it did in, or just a lot of enemies seem to be real tanks. Especially these, oh, gone down a cul-de-sac. That was like 5 or 6 bullets for that enemy. But I kind of feel in general that the levels are more reasonable than in the first game. Not to the point of being good, but better. And this is just mean. I can't get that. Not with this amount of health. So I won't. Oops. Oh no. Like, it's not even worth trying to shoot these mollusks, because it just takes so many hits to shoot them down. Super Mario Print World. I am not familiar with that one. Super Mario Print World. I can imagine what that would be. There was a point in the 90s where everybody wanted to have like desktop publishing apps and programs. The print shop caught on and everybody made clones of it. They made cards and banners. Why doesn't it boomerang when Sharkman throws it? I feel like Megaman does not know how to use Sharkman's weapon. Alright. So Megaman's worried face selects Waveman stage. I think Dr. Light might be communicating with Megaman through a terminal. Oh yeah, this flying yellow giant stinger wasp thingy. These things are a nightmare. And there's Eco Man. This isn't the way to go, is it? Maybe it's a way to go. Extra life. Ah! Okay, so don't go through the pistons because all you get is... Oh, it's an E-tank. That's probably worth it. Oof. Guess I want to jump up to avoid taking damage there. I'm not sure. There we go. Yeah, I'm not going to survive if I keep doing like this. No! Oh! Well, I guess I get to keep that E-tank. Or do I? Oh wait, I forgot. In Mega Man 3, you don't get to keep your E-tanks when you continue, so... Probably wasn't too helpful. I should probably remember to use it next time I'm... in a point where I'm low on lives and... Alright. Let's go under the engine here. Yeah, the E-tank's gone now. I kind of like how nothing about the level resets when you die. It's kind of like they're just sending another Mega Man in, like they've just manufactured another one. Sent in the replacement. Ah! What? Eco Man can jump? I've never seen that. Wow. Alright, I've reached the below the ship. I've reached Waveman. Alright. How would you like a boomerang in your grill? I can install water shooter. Alright. Time for Oilman. Fringe artifacts where colors change. Yeah. Like, sort of the gist of the NES signal is just that the color signal can't change quite as fast as the size of a pixel. So you often get a third of a pixel in the wrong color. Wow, how did I get up that ladder? Usually I get that's the wrong ladder to go up, but also usually I get knocked down trying to go up it, so I don't know how I succeeded. So solid areas are correct, but the edges of things are often the wrong color for a small part of the edge. And just horizontally. Vertically, there's no problem. And there's a couple systems that have similar problems. And then there's the whole, like, CGA, the high color CGA thing. I don't know if it's 16 colors or not. But that's not an actual CGA video mode. That's a hack people figured out later. Like, CGA was built to do high resolution black and white color. And just people found if you hook that up to a CRT, the pixels would turn into colors. Because the color resolution was lower, like the inherent color resolution of the signal. It had less bandwidth than was encoded in those pixels, so they would show in colors. And then particularly the people who made Maniac Mansion, I forget what company did that. That's a LucasArts game, isn't it? So I think there are a couple of LucasArts games that had that hacky CGA composite color mode. I think Battle Chess had a mode like that. Like there weren't a lot of games that did it, but there were a few. But it wasn't built to do that. That was not in the spec. That was something people discovered they could do. And like Apple II high resolution mode always had that problem on their monitors. That things would look alternating green and purple Well, the funny thing about like those CGA games, like games that did CGA composite, they also I don't know of any that didn't also have an EGA mode, which will run in 16 colors on its hardware under spec. Like the CGA composite mode was only if you were a person who just had a CGA device, which wasn't really a lot of people, as far as I know, by that point. But it was just kind of weird. Like there was an idea that you had to support like every possible hardware. So like every software has 10 different sound drivers and 8 different video drivers for all these different modes. And they have all these processed versions of the graphics for each permutation. It's really, I don't know. Must have been a real pain to develop for. But if you were a company selling tons and tons of games that ran on like everything, like Sierra or LucasArts, I guess you could afford it. And it was worth it because it would get your game in more hands. Or Megaman, yes. You try it on the system the system you programmed it on probably, and very little else. When I was like working on the patch for this, like I was looking into the Tandy mode, and the Tandy mode is actually just CGA mode. Like that's all it does. It just activates CGA mode. And Tandy actually had a 16 color mode that was pretty much like EGA. But it's not compatible. It's a completely different standard, so needs its own code. It looked like Steven Rosner started writing code for it. There's an incomplete version that kind of works, but only kind of. Like a lot of stuff looks like sprites will disappear or black boxes that'll appear around them. So it's like he worked on it and then decided this isn't worth it. I can just ship CGA mode and say that's Tandy compatible, because Tandy was compatible with CGA. And that's what he did. But the code is still there in the game. It's just you can't activate it without hacking it. Well, I'd have to patch it and then fix all the problems with Tandy mode. And the thing is, even if I did that, it would just look like EGA mode. So I don't know if there's anything valid about doing that. Like, it would run on a Tandy computer, I guess, in 16 colors, but that's getting too narrow. Like, the patch that I made makes it run on basically almost any PC can run this game in its native form now. Like, I put FreeDOS on a USB stick and booted my modern PC with it and played Megaman. I played this game on it, and it runs pretty well. So that was sort of my target for that. I don't have any interest in making it work on like specifically Tandy hardware. That's just too niche for me. Plus, I've never had a Tandy computer. But the funnier thing I found was that there is also Tandy code in Mega Man 3. And it's not the same code. Like Mega Man 3, a lot of stuff has been rewritten. There's some stuff that is very similarly structured, but it's definitely had a whole pass over the whole engine. And there's a Tandy mode in there. It's not in as complete a state. You can't just turn it on and see that it's partially broken. It just won't run. But it means like he tried twice to get Tandy working and gave up. Like I don't think he owned a Tandy machine. Maybe he had a friend who he could test it on, but it was like such a pain. Like try something today, I take it over to their house and it doesn't work. Or maybe he was debugging over the phone, or like he's probably just gave up twice. That's what's funny to me. Like he tried twice and gave up. So there's unused Tandy code in both of these games. And it's different code. 2 attempts. Alright, so Blade Man. Blade Man, I think, is my favorite enemy, because he's covered in all these spikes. Very stylish. Blade Man is very punk rock, I guess. I don't quite remember how to get through this level, but I'll probably manage. Ooh, an E-tank. I can... Ugh. I'd ask you to remind me to use the E-tank before I die, but with the lag in response, I probably won't be able to see the reminder before I need to use it. But I really should use them, because I believe they don't carry through or continues in Mega Man 3. Even though they do in Mega Man 1. Oops. Oh. I've gone the wrong way. Or have I? I have not. That was the right way. I like this enemy that is like some sort of sentient kelp or something. Disable low latency. I don't have any options for that as a streamer. I think that's an option for you as a watcher, maybe. But I guess, yeah, when I'm watching Twitch, I don't usually have it on because it uses more CPU. My laptop gets hotter. I definitely don't have any options for low latency, so maybe that's a thing you get if you're above a certain viewership. I don't know. I've seen it as an option watching some people's streams, and I usually wouldn't turn it on because I don't like the extra power it requires. It's not worth it to me to listen to my laptop fan. Okay, so this is the time for E-Tank. But no, as a streamer, I do not have that option, so I don't know what it takes to get that option, but whatever requirement, I have not met it. All right. So the weird thing to think about is, like, this must have made money, because Capcom let them do it again. So the Mega Man brand was so compelling, this game was definitely worth publishing somehow. Oh, got me from behind. I gotta be patient, but when I think I'm being patient, I also make a mistake, so... Ah! I think it's time for the other E-Tank. Could have jumped straight up, but I didn't know they were both going to shoot in synchronized. Like I think that's the main problem right here. Like I don't know, when they're off screen they're asleep. So I don't know when they're going to fire relative to each other. And right here in the middle is this crossfire situation. Oh, okay, finally made it. Oh, that thing. Okay, so I'll just take a moment here to look at that setting. Dashboard, so what are you saying? Dashboard settings, channel, latency mode. Settings, channel, latency mode. I have normal latency. Oh, okay. So I just never set this. I never saw this before. Okay. I didn't think that was a thing I could set. I will have to, there's a learn more. I want to know more about the consequences of it before I turn it on. I'm not going to do it in the middle of the stream, but thanks for letting me know about it. I'll look into it. Yeah, let's bring this back up. I love it when games have an enemy who's frozen just off screen waiting for me to catch up. Yeah. Actually, that's kind of the reason I've never played through Ninja Gaiden on NES. Not quite the same issue, but like just so many enemies that will respawn. Like you move a pixel and then you move a pixel forward and they respawn. And they're just like placed in a place that they seem like they're obviously designed to just re-trigger endlessly in the most irksome way. What am I doing? Gotta stop on the corner. Oh, it's gonna kill me on my way to the... I'm not gonna make it. It looks so easy. I want to land on it and then take it. There we go. That was worth doing. I don't know, like there's cool things about Ninja Gaiden, but I've never been compelled to play through the whole thing in one sitting yet. I might someday. Okay. Alright, we've got Blade Man here. And Blade Man likes... I think it's O, but what's O? What was S? S was Shark Boomerang. W was Water. O was Oil. Oh. Yeah, I like Blade Man style. Blade Man's got cool shoulder spikes and stuff. Nice magenta coat. So there we go, blade launcher. The bug, we're losing a life at the final boss, sends you back to the beginning of block 6 or whatever. Was that a bug? I thought that was just by design the last stage as a harsh continue. Though I have heard some things like that, where a bug severely affected the difficulty of a game. Like XCOM UFO Defense. I know had a bug that reverted the game to easy mode after the first month. No matter what difficulty you picked for the first month, so as long as you survived 1 month, you were on easy mode. And the game was still fairly challenging. Like it's not an easy game on easy mode. But when they released the sequel is tuned to be a harder version of what all the working difficulty modes were. So easy mode was a harder easy mode already, and then it had a bunch of hard modes on top of that. But if you thought you played like normal difficulty or hard difficulty and survived in the first game, like you're just gonna get destroyed in the sequel in a way that's kind of hilarious. Yeah, well, there's a lot of things that are hard to tell if they're a decision, a conscious decision, or just the way it came out. Like something can be a bug in the code, something can be an accidental number typed somewhere, it can be lots of things. I've also heard, somebody told me that it was a bug that Super R-Type didn't have checkpoints in the middle of levels, which might be true because like every other R-Type game has checkpoints, and so did R-Type 2, which Super R-Type is largely based on. But at the same time, I kind of felt like not having checkpoints made some of the, despite being more repetitive, made it more strategic, because like you'd have time to make decisions on the way to, oh wow, I can even recover from the fall. I thought I would fall right to the bottom. Okay. Forgot that there was an Eco-Man in this room. I'm still stunned that Eco-Man jumps. I didn't realize that Eco-Man could do that. So the lack of checkpoints probably made it Super R-Type harder, but I enjoyed its long levels and repeating them and sort of learning kind of elegant paths through them. Yeah, at least that's what Listar said once in one of her streams, that Eco-Man was the original protagonist and became an enemy. And I forget what it said about that in the article I read about it, but it probably said the same stuff. So at this point, I vaguely remember the way through most of these levels, but not entirely. So I'm probably having a much faster time than someone would on a blind play of this, but I'm definitely going the wrong way sometimes, but at this point I know how to get to the end of this level. I remember what's coming next. There's no Mega Man 2. Mega Man 2 is like Leisure Suit Larry 4. Alright, so what do we got? L. L for Blade. I guess. Oh yeah. Just 3 in the face. That's the strategy against this one. You've defeated Torchman. You can install Torch Arm. Right, Bitman. Oh yeah, Bitman's weird. Bitman charges at you. Yeah. Like, that's the kind of thing that you'd... that would make you realize something is a bug. Like, when you find something... If you start digging into the game and you find, oh, there is a checkpoint system. So maybe you... So maybe you think that was not intentionally disabled if you find, like, data for checkpoints and find that you could just enable it with a thing. But that can be subjective, too. Like, maybe it was disabled on purpose if you find... But sometimes you find something that is like, no, this looks like a typo. I fixed some music in Star Tropics, and I mean, to listen to it, it's obviously broken. But also, like, looking at the data, when you see it, you see basically a 0 where there shouldn't be a 0. And then everything after the 0 is like perfect data. It looks exactly like it should. And you realize, yeah, like this just got mangled somehow. Somebody stuck a 0 into the stream. It's probably in a text file somewhere. Maybe someone thought they were editing some other document and accidentally typed a 0 into this one, into the music document, or something like that. Like, that kind of stuff happens all the time. I've gone the wrong... Where am I going? That's where I came in. I don't want to be in here with Mosquito. Oh, I wanted to go at this door. Into the kind of broken-looking section of this oil rig. Okay, so Bitman is on the oil rig. Oh, I fell in the open hole. Good thing I got an extra life earlier. Where am I here? There. I love the open hole sign. So this seems like a laser drill. Like, what is this room supposed to be? It bothers me how you can jump through this part of it, but like the below, it's a death beam. Oh, so erratic. They're as annoying as real mosquitoes, I'd say. Maybe not quite. Because if a real mosquito bites you, the effects last a lot longer. Alright, into the hole. Here we go. So I never figured out how to get this E-tank. It felt like I just hit my head on a platform there. But I don't know how to get to it. Like if I YOLO from here, can I hit that platform? I don't know. Right there. Mario's missing on DOS. Yeah, I thought that was a DOS game first, wasn't it? Or maybe I just heard of it on DOS first. The DOS version of Ninja Turtles is unbeatable? I've not heard that. I played several hours of the Atari ST version of that port, which I think is like the same company, but that's what I had growing up. I had an Atari ST. That was my first computer. Alright, so we've made it to Bitman, who we're gonna set on fire. Come at me. There we go. You can install BitCannon. What's a BitCannon? So here we go, Dr. W. There's this nice castle here with the bone sticking out of it. Like that bone. The bone seems strange. Oh, that was cruel. Good thing I actually used all my E-tanks. Oh, instant kill in lava. I have noticed that with the cheat code, the green liquid is still an instant kill. So I guess they realized when using the cheat code for the previous game that it was a hassle to manually restart. Alright, Bitman. You've been rebuilt so soon. I don't know. I'd say like DOS getting kind of bad ports of a lot of things just in large part just had to do with that hardware issue, like what I was talking about, how you had to make like a CGA, an EGA, a Tandy version, maybe VGA, like for all the graphics. You had all these sound drivers. The way joystick works on PC is stupid. Like the hardware is not well suited to video games. At least certain kinds of things. Like scrolling is a big pain. Until you get to like faster, like 386 era, then you've got a pretty good gaming machine. 286, it was viable, but it was hard. What am I looking for? Probably Bitman Weapon. I think it goes in clockwise order. Where am I starting here? So I think Like, you want to make an engine that kind of works on everything that people had. They were trying to hit a wide target, and you were targeting a low-powered CPU as well. Even though a lot of people had faster computers, like 286 was already a pretty capable machine. But here you have like this being released in 1990 for, I guess, an AT, like pre-286 computer. At a time, like 386s I think came out in 89 or 88 or something like that. But it took a while for people to adopt it. It was like this whole thing of, do people even want a computer in their home? Like, that wasn't necessarily all that common anyway. And people that had bought a computer weren't really all that enthusiastic about upgrading this thing they already spent $1,000 on or whatever, and found that they didn't have much use for. So, like, it wasn't like an NES, which, you know, might have been $200 or something at the time, but at least it was built to play games, and as a platform for that, it lasted, you know, a good 6-7 years, or like they were way cheaper, and they were built for that purpose. Whereas like a personal computer, a lot of people didn't really have that much use for it before the internet. Oh wait, this is where I came in. I'm doing very badly. Do I have lives? No, I'm on my last life. I may have to redo Wiley's Castle. Um, 486 launched in 89. So yeah, like, so you already had 486s, but not a lot of people had them in 89. Like myself, I was running a 286 in about 1992. That was the first PC I got. So that was like 8 years late for that computer, but we got it for cheap, and I played a lot of games on it. Like, that's where I played Commander Keen, and ran great on my 286. It had a VGA card, because those were easy to get at that time. Like, VGA was already several years old at that point. But yeah, like, it was just very sluggish, and like, a computer wasn't a thing that every household had. Oh, that was nice. And even if you did have one, you probably didn't have the latest one. So software developers were stuck trying to support everything they could, because people had 10 years worth of hardware at the same time. Do I want to go up here? I think this is... Ooh. I don't remember this part of the level. I go up here. Yeah, this is the way to go. Ooh, okay. Looks like I've got 3 more. If I can survive. $1994 Commodore 64? That sounds about right. Like, that's... I was still using my Atari ST well into the 90s. Like, that we got in the 80s. We got it because it was like... It wasn't... It was relatively cheap for the power you got. It was a good price for what it was. It wasn't as good as an Amiga, but it cost like 1/5 the cost or something like that. So I ended up with an Atari ST, and that had a lot of pretty good games on it, but, you know, the ports weren't as good as you know, home console that would have hardware built to do just games. But yeah, we stuck with that one for, well, until 1992. So I guess we had it for like 8 years before we bought another computer in my family. And even having the Atari ST, like for a while we were one of 2 or 3 houses on the block that had a computer. So I felt lucky about that in the 80s, like having a computer at home. A lot of my friends didn't. And I loved it. I learned how to program. It was kind of set the course of my life in motion. Yeah, actually the computer I'm playing this on right now is 10 years old. At this point I try and keep computers for just disappeared. For as long as they're still viable. I have a laptop that's newer, but... Oh... That enemy up there makes me so sad, because I'm sure there's, like, energy, but I'd probably die trying to get it. And I'm so close to the end here. Blades to the face, blades to the face. It's Oilman! Nice. That went well. Okay. I forget what I need at this point. Yeah, SSDs can be pretty good. Oh no! Wow! Okay, I got clipped through the wall. That I haven't seen before. At least not in that matter. But this is not the weapon. What do I want to use? Bitman Weapon? Yeah. Except now I'm out of power. Wow, that is a bad spot. I can't shoot it from there. This is tough. Oh no. I gotta do the whole castle again. I gotta avoid doing that and losing all my lives before I... So I'm already at my last life. I might as well just sacrifice it. I hate that sort of encouragement to do that in a game like this. That's like part of just the... I hate this part. I hate these enemies. These stupid shooter things. Like I don't like doing this. I don't like just... I've lost one life, so I better throw away the other 2. I don't like how that manifests, but it happens in this kind of game. It feels like the appropriate decision. I turned backwards so that despite taking damage... Oh no. Take this, Eco Man. Oh, I guess it's gone. Alright, so the first man is Bitman, I think. And I want Torchman on him. Don't think I've ever avoided the falling bits. Falling ceiling tiles, or whatever it is. Ooh. To add insult to injury, the shots of those wall shooter thingies are really hard to see, especially on a lot of the backgrounds. Like, look how many hits the Met takes. I think the Met took like 2 hits in Mega Man 1. I almost feel like I should take Sharkman out with regular weapon so that I won't lose all my bits for the later fight. Sharkman's pretty easy. Gotta go this way. Maybe. All right. I think that was a 0 damage wave, man. How are you supposed to get up there? No. All right, another try. Getting better at it, though. So a quote like that makes it both a bug and an intention, I guess. Which, I don't know. That's kind of funny. That's the other thing about making a game, is like when you're making it, you get to see 1,000 versions of the game. And a lot of the differences, it's hard to judge whether one is better than the other in isolation. Some things it's really hard to get a feel for until you see 100 people play it or 1,000 people play it. I'm not going to use Bit Weapon on this on Sharkman because I want to keep my bit power. Because Sharkman is not tough. Is there an SNES version of Ninja Gaiden? I didn't realize. Where did that come from? Please don't destroy me. Ninja Gaiden Trilogy. Oh, okay, that sounds familiar. That felt tense. All right. Oops. Wasted it. Okay, so this time I'm not gonna go for that life in a silly way. Though I think I figured out how to get it in thinking about it, but I don't want to try. I don't even want to try. Okay, so this is Oilman. That felt terrible. An E-tank. So that's just mean. There's no way to see what's down there. Got one life, one E-tank. I'd like to see Missing No cosplay. I'm sure it's out there. Which would I like? I'd like a little more shark. I think shark and water are what you need for Wiley, but I don't quite remember. Alright, it's Blade Man. Give him some oil. You'd think oil would be good for Blade Man. Make his blades you know, move more smoothly. Okay, what's up here? Oh, it's that thing. My nemesis. So if I face this way, no. I hate this thing. What do I get? What do I get? Another one! It's gonna take me an E-tank to get up there. I had like a 2/3 of health. I wasted it all, and then I abandoned the attempt. I didn't even find out what I was getting for it. I forgot there was another boss. At least it's an easy one. Okay. I think at this point I just take the hit. This is my last life, but I'm sure I can finish the game. That's another one gone. So I'm pretty full. Don't think that'll... Well, it doesn't matter, because I can't come back. So I guess fill up this one, but I think what I need is water? Yeah. And I think shark is what I want now. Do I have an E-tank? I do. Okay. No! Whoa. Dr. Light's been replaced by Wiley. That looks like a bug to me. I've never seen that. Did you see that? Like, glitching out Wiley? I was trying to press escape to use my E-tank, but it didn't work. Part of it's because I'm playing with a gamepad. So I have to reach far away. Oh, this whole level. I didn't think this would happen. Hope I remember where I found that E-tank. It was useful. Or it should have been useful, I should say. It was not useful. Yaiba Ninja Gaiden Z? I've not heard of that one. I really liked Ninja Gaiden Sigma. That I had it for PS3, which I guess was called Ninja Gaiden Black on 360, or I guess it was an Xbox game, Ninja Gaiden, and then it became Ninja Gaiden Black on 360, and then Sigma on PS3. But that one I really liked. I thought it had very satisfying gameplay to it. Whoa, Sharkman's actually attacking. That didn't happen at all last time. Thought I'd be safe. Okay, so that's pretty good. Got pretty good health now. That felt lucky. Not a great wave man battle. But not horrible. I made the mistake of touching Eco Man. Do not touch Eco Man. Bullet from Eco Man is not so bad, but touching Eco Man is very bad. So, where did we find an E-tank? Up here? Oh! This level's wearing me down. It's Wiley's castle, all right. I just want to know where I found that E-tank before. Well, it wasn't here. It's happened again. This time with different sprites. Has this game no score? I don't think so. I don't think Megaman 3... I'm just so mad at this liquid, and I don't want to do this. I hate doing this, but... It's just I've restarted this stage so many times, I don't want to do it again. Wow, it's just getting worse and worse. Every time. Truthfully, I think this is not a bad game. It takes a lot of coping to get into it, but I'm actually enjoying it. Oh, this level has been frustrating me. Yeah, the first NES Mega Man has a score, for sure. I don't think any of the others do. Is there a bug in Final Fantasy VI? Like I know of a bunch of bugs with Final Fantasy VI, but and actually I had a playthrough that I think it was my first playthrough of the game. There was some dungeon where I could not proceed without the game just screwing up, so I left the dungeon, changed my party around, and then it was fine. It was really weird. I think it was fighting a dragon in the Phoenix Cave or something. But I just remember I tried the fight so many times, and every time it just like did weird stuff. Like characters would change into other characters, and stuff would happen, and I was afraid. Oh, that's nice. That's very nice of you, game. So I remember it as being one of the buggier Super Nintendo games that I'd ever played. In terms of like I encountered more than that on my playthrough. Okay, I forget where the E-Tank is, but I got a free extra life, so I'm gonna keep rolling. That's probably about as good as an E-Tank anyway. The E-Tank was probably right up there. That's where it was. It was right up there. And I just jumped down like a chump. Oh well. Who we got now? Blade Man. Blade Man needs oil for the blades. Which I still insist would be good for the blades, not bad. So I think this is unrealistic weaponry pairing. That's the terrible room. Don't go up there. I don't want to know what's up there. I'll never know what's up there. Till I look at a map after I'm done playing this, but... That room up there made the difference between me passing the game last time and having to do this again. It really did. I've got 3 extra lives. I'm flying. So, I think I want to refill this one. No E-tanks. I gotta be careful, maybe. Try to avoid the flying plutonium rods, or whatever they are. Have a boomerang. Got him. Dr. Wiley has surrendered again. Megaman has saved the planet from destruction, but will it last? Maybe. Alright. So there we go. Megaman 3. Or DOS by Stephen Rosner. Graphics by William Rosner. Sometimes I wonder if I should read guides for old games. That would help me get into them more.